Hello friends, today we are going to start our next chapter, that is chapter number 10, vector algebra. So what is vector algebra? This topic is new for everyone because you are not going to study anything about this vector term. Okay, so this chapter we are going to start from the basic part. So our first topic in this chapter is position vector. Guys, this chapter is a little bit important as exam point of view because this is the last second unit of our syllabus. So it contains approximate 18 marks out of total 80 marks. So it contains only two chapters. One is vector algebra and another one is 3D geometry. So if you are able to understand the terminology in this chapter, then you are able to solve the questions based on some conditions in our next chapter, that is 3D geometry and plane. So this is the most important chapter to understand the basic terminology of vector algebra. Okay, because in next chapter you are going to directly apply that terminology, apply that condition, apply that formulas directly. There you are not able to understand the terms if you are not aware, you are not serious about this chapter. Okay, now starting from the first topic is position vector. So what is position vector? It will define by its name itself. Position vector means a vector which defines the position of any point. Suppose here we are having x, y and z axis. We are having a point. It is having some distance from x axis. So its coordinate will be x, y and z. So this position, this x, y, z is a coordinate in Cartesian geometry. Now if we are talking about the vector, it will be known as position vector. Means the point which defines the position of any point is known as position vector. Clear? And it will be represented as x will be represented with I cap, y will be represented with j cap and z will be represented with k cap. So if we said this is a point A, it always, okay, this is point A, so we can say A vector is equals to xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap. So this is the position vector of A vector. Clear? Now second topic is to find the magnitude of vector. How can we find the magnitude of this vector? Magnitude means we need to find, let's suppose if we connect this line with O, okay, and we need to find the distance from the origin. So what we can do, first of all we need to find the length of this. We know very well the coordinates of origin is 0 I cap plus 0 j cap plus 0 k cap. Clear? Now let's take an example. If you are at point 2 and moving somewhere and reached at point 4, how can you find the distance? You just simply subtract the final limit minus initial limit, so you will get the overall distance. So in the same way, if we need to find the distance for this, what we can do? We just subtract the final position from the initial position. So what we get? OA vector equals to xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap. Now if we need to find the magnitude of this function, so we can say magnitude is nothing, just the length of this line. It will be find with the help of this method. we need to square all the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap and add and take square root. It will represent the magnitude of any vector. So this is the magnitude of given vector. It also gives the length of that line segment. Clear? So now whenever you find any 2 points, suppose A, B, C, okay, let's take A1, B1 and C1 and another point A2, B2 and C2. This is point A and this is point B. If someone asked you, find the length of AB, so what we can do? First of all, we need to find AB vector. AB vector means A2 vector minus A1 vector I cap plus B2 minus B1 j cap plus C2 minus C1 k cap. So this is the vector of this line. Okay, if we need to find the magnitude, so we just need to square and sum of these terms and take the square root, we will get the length of this line. Clear? Now, our third topic in this chapter, that is direction ratio. So what is direction ratio? Direction ratio is nothing, just the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap in any line segment. What is direction ratio? Direction ratio is just a coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap in any line segment. Here AB represent a line, so the coefficient A2 minus A1, B2 minus B1 and C2 minus C1. This will be known as direction ratio and it will be represented by A, B and C. These are the direction ratio of any line. Direction ratio is basically representing the direction of the line, that in which direction the line is moving. Clear? So till now what we have covered, first topic is position vector. What is position vector? The vector which represent the position of any specific point, or you can say any locus point. Okay, so those vectors are known as position vector. Now second thing is magnitude of a vector. How can we find the magnitude of any vector? We just simply take the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap and substitute in this equation. Here we can substitute the value of x, y, z. It will be represented as magnitude of any line segment. Okay, now our third topic is direction ratio. What is direction ratio? Direction ratio is just the coefficient of I, j, k. Here whatever we get a, x, y, z, this is the direction ratio for this line segment. Okay, if we have to find the direction ratio for this line segment, so what we can do? A2 minus A1, B2 minus B1, C2 minus C1. Means the coefficient of I cap, j cap and k cap will be named as direction ratio. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now please pause the video to note it down. Now moving towards our next topic, that is direction cosine. This is quite important because you are going to get this word maximum time, as maximum as possible time. Okay, so what is direction cosine? First of all, I will tell you what is direction cosine. Direction cosine is basically the angle of any line segment with x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Suppose a line segment is given. This is O, this is A. This line makes any angle with the x-axis, it will be represented as alpha. If it will makes any angle with y-axis, then it will be represented as beta. In the same way, if it will makes any angle with z-axis, then it will be considered as gamma. Okay, so now we need to find this. If this here we have taken the angle, then this will be the perpendicular and this will be the base and this will be the hypotenuse. Clear? Now if we need to find the value of this alpha, we just take cos alpha. That's why we are naming as direction cosine, means cos function. So direction cosine is base upon hypotenuse. Clear? Now here it is covering, suppose let's take a as a x, y, z, or we can say, or we can just simply say ABC. Clear? So now here the length of this is, the length of base is, it will cover a, means length of this is a. Now if we need to find the hypotenuse, hypotenuse is length of OA, that is hypotenuse. How can we find the length of hypotenuse? We already learned about the magnitude. So the magnitude of OA represents the hypotenuse of the given line. So the magnitude is a square plus b square plus c square. This is the length of OA, or we can say this is the length of hypotenuse. So just substitute it here. A square plus b square plus c square. So from this we can get the value of cos alpha. Now in the same way we can find the value of cos beta. Here the length is b and hypotenuse is same, so we can say b upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. Now in the same way we can find the value of cos gamma, that is c upon square root of a square plus b square plus c square. So this is the direction cosine for any given line segment. It will also be represented as L, M and N. So generally we can see direction cosine will be represented as L, M and N. So with this way we can find the value of direction cosine. Now there is one relation between all these three terms, that is cos square alpha plus cos square beta plus cos square gamma equals to 1. Whenever we are going to substitute these values in this equation, what we get? A square upon a square plus b square plus c square, b square upon b square plus b square upon a square plus b square plus c square. Similarly c square upon a square plus b square plus c square. When we simplify, it just cancel out its numerator and denominator. What we get? That is 1. Or we can say L square plus m square plus n square equals to 1. So this is the basic relation between L and N, or we can say this is the basic relation in direction cosine. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now please pause the video to note it down. Now moving towards our next topic, that is types of vectors. Types of vector. There are basically 6 types of vector. On the basis we are going to categorize some vectors. Okay, this is a little bit important about your MCQs, about your multiple choice question, because some MCQs will be generated on the basis of these definitions. Okay, so our first type is zero vector. It is clear by its name itself. The vector whose all the coordinates of x, y and z will be 0. Those vectors are known as zero vector. The vector whose all the coordinates are 0 are known as zero vector. Second one is unit vector. Unit vector means the vector whose magnitude is 1. Vector whose magnitude is 1. Here we can say zero vector are those vector whose magnitude is 0. The vector whose magnitude is 0 is known as zero vector. Vector whose magnitude is 1 is known as unit vector. Then third one is co-initial vector. So what is co-initial vector? The vector which starts from the same point. For suppose OAB. Here line OA starts from O and line OB also starts from O. Its starting point is same, so we can consider this vector as a co-initial vector. Means the vector whose initial points are same are known as co-initial vector. Okay, next is collinear vector. Collinear or parallel, both are same, so we can say what collinear vectors are those vectors which are available in a straight line. Here A, here B, it will be starts from O. OA and OB are collinear vector because they are lying in a same straight line. Clear? Now next one is equal vector. Equal vector are those vector whose all the components are same. Whose all components are same. Components means I cap, coefficient of I cap, coefficient of J cap and coefficient of K cap are same. For example, if a vector is given 2I cap plus 3J cap plus 4K cap and B vector is given 2I cap plus 3J cap plus 4K cap, this will be considered as equal vector. If any of the component will be different, then it will not be considered as a equal vector. Now moving towards our last negative of a vector. Negative of a vector. So vector will be negative when its direction will be interchanged. For suppose if AB is positive, then BA is also same but with opposite sign. For example, here we can take an example. A is 1, 2, 3 and B 3, 4, 5. And whenever we find AB, so what we get? 3 minus 1, 2I cap plus 4 minus 2, 2J cap, 5 minus 3, 2K cap. Okay, if we find ABA, so what we get? 1 minus 3 minus 2I cap minus 2J cap and minus 2K cap. So both the vectors are similar but with opposite sign. So here we can say negative of a vector is AB vector is equals to negative times of BA vector. Clear? Now please pause the video to note it down. Now moving towards our next topic, that is addition of vectors. It is quite simple. Whenever we need to add two vectors, then its same component will be added or to be subtracted. Like if we have a vector, that is 2I cap plus 3J cap plus 4K cap, and b vector is 2i cap plus 9j cap plus 6k cap. Here we can take negative. Okay, if we need to find a vector plus b vector, then same component will be added or subtracted, means I will be added with I component, means 2 plus 2 4i cap, 3 plus 9 12j cap, minus 6 plus 4 minus 2k cap. So this will be the value of a plus b vector. Similarly, whenever we subtract the vectors, so it will also subtracted with the same term. A minus b means 2 minus 2 0i cap plus 3 minus 9 minus 6j cap, 4 minus plus 6, that is 10k cap. So this will be the difference of two vector. Clear? Now moving towards multiplication of matrix. Sorry, multiplication of vectors. Now multiplication will be done by two methods. There are two type of product available in vector algebra. One is dot product. It is also known as scalar product. It always gives you a specific value. So, and second one is cross product. And it is also known as vector product. Okay, now we are going to learn both the multiplication process one by one. Okay, if here we are having two vectors a and b, if we need to find a vector dot b vector, it will be represented by this a vector dot b vector. If we need to find a vector dot b vector, what we can do, we just write the values plus 4k cap, 2i cap plus 9j cap minus 6k cap. Here we need to remember one thing, that in dot product the multiplication will be possible only in the same term. The multiplication will be possible only in the same term, means I will multiply with I, j will multiply with j, and k will multiply k. Here ijk will not participated in any product process. Okay, in dot product the components ijk will not be participated, only their coefficient are going to be multiplied. Let 2 2s are 4 plus 3 9s are 27 plus 4 6 is 24. So when we simplify 31 minus this, it shows 7. So this will be the dot product or dot product of two vectors. Okay, it always gives you a scalar term or a specific number whose direction is not available. That's why we are saying this as a scalar product. It always gives you a specific number. Now moving towards the cross product. What is cross product? Cross product is basically product of component with other component, means I will multiply with j and k. Similarly, j is going to be multiplied with I and k will multiply with I and j. So here we can write I cap, j cap, k cap, and the coefficient is here 2, 3, 4, 2, 9, minus 6. Here you can also do with the help of this process, but this will be quite mashing. So we can solve this with the help of determinant. Just write the first row as component, second row as A vector and third row as V vector. Now simplify, that is I cap, hide this, 6 3 is 18 minus 36 minus j cap, hide this, minus 12 minus 8 plus k cap, 18 minus 6. So simplify this, we get minus 54 I cap plus 20 j cap and plus 12 k cap. This will be the cross product of two vectors. Clear? Now dot product contains a equation, that is A vector dot B vector is equals to A mod of A mod of B into cos theta. This is the key equation for dot product, and for cross product it will be A vector cross B vector mod equals to A vector B vector sin theta. So this will be the key equation for cross product. Whenever we need to find the angle between two lines, so here with the help of this we are going to find the angle between two lines. Okay, cross product, we just need to remember one specific thing. What is dot product? Dot product is a way to find the projection of any line. To find the projection of any line we are going to use dot product, and to find the perpendicular line we are going to use cross product. Means cross product always gives you the perpendicular. For suppose this is A vector, this is B vector. If we do the cross product for both the vectors, what we get? We get this vector, the line which is perpendicular to A as well as B. Means this vector is perpendicular with A vector and B vector. So cross product always gives you the perpendicular vector, and dot product always gives you the projection of vector, projection, or we can say parallel vector. Clear? Now please pause the video to note it down. Now moving towards our next topic, that is vector joining 2 points. Means a vector which join 2 points. Suppose 2 points are given, that is x1, y1, z1. We can say A vector and another point B, that is x2, y2 and z2. A line segment is given. Now we know very well how to find the vector of this line segment. We have to find AB vector. How we can find AB vector? The position vector of B minus position vector of A. First thing is clear. Now second, how can we find the direction ratio? Direction ratio of this given line. So we just need to find the difference between its coordinate, that is x2 minus x1, comma y2 minus y1, comma z2 minus z1, and it will be represented as A, B and C. These are the direction ratio, A, B and C. Now we can also find the direction cosine. How can we find the direction cosine? We have ABC. So with the help of these ABC, A square plus B square plus C square, comma B upon root A square plus B square plus C square, comma C upon root A square plus B square plus C square. Or we can represent this as a LMN. Clear? So these are the basic things. Okay, after that we also can find the unit vector of this line segment. Now remember, what is unit vector? Recall this. The vector whose magnitude is 1. The vector whose magnitude is 1. It will be represented as AB whole cap, and it will be AB vector divided by mod of AB vector. How can we find unit vector by this? Let's suppose let's take an example, that is A vector 2i cap plus 3j cap plus 4k cap. Okay, we need to check, we need to check, or we need to convert this vector as a unit vector. So what is unit vector? Whose magnitude is 1. So first of all, I have to check the magnitude of this function or this equation. 2 ka square 4 plus 9 plus 16. So it will be root 29. So the magnitude of this vector is root 29. Now I have to convert this root 29 into 1. How can I convert? Just simply I need to divide this by this number as well. If I divide the mod of a vector by mod of a vector, then I will definitely get 1. So what I already did, I just divide any vector with its modulus. It always gives you the magnitude 1. That's why I wrote here unit vector is AB cap equals to AB vector divided by mod of AB vector. And where AB vector is the magnitude, so we can say we can also able to find we are also able to find magnitude of vector, that is mod of AB vector. So magnitude always also represents the length of that line segment. Now we are having one last topic for this, that is section formula. What is section formula? Here we can find the length if any of the line segment cut this line AB in ratio m is to n. So how can we find the position vector of this line segment? So it will be represented as, okay, section formula. So that new point will be named as R. So how can we find m into b vector, mb plus n into a, and it will be m plus n. This is in case of internal section. If we are talking about external case, so it will become R vector equals to mb minus na divided by m minus n. This is the final formula for section formula. Clear? Now that's all in this chapter. In our next video, we are going to solve some NCERT based question of this chapter. So that's all. Thank you.